So this is the video explaining all about the microphones and what they do and how to operate them. So if we look over on the desk here, you start off with these two trim dials at the top for each microphone. Now when you first come into the studio, it's very important that you change these to adjust to your voice. So the way that you do this is down a little bit further on the desk, there's this Q button here. Make sure your microphone is off, which you do with the off switch, and then press the Q button. Once the Q button is pressed, that means you can hear what's going on, but they can't hear it on the air. And then you simply talk into the microphone as loudly as you can, and then twist the trim dial. Now what you're looking to happen is on this Q/PFL meter here, you want your voice to be between about 5 and 6 on the dial. If it's too much, then turn the trim down. If it's too little, then turn the trim up. And that's basically how you make sure that your voice is at the right level to start the show. So once you've done that, you probably don't need to touch that again for the whole show. And then that's your microphones there. So there are two ways of getting your microphones on air. You've got either the on-off buttons, so if you're going to use them, then you make sure your faders are all the way at the top, and then when you want your microphones on, simply turn them on, and when you want them off, simply turn them off. Or the other option is to always have your microphones on and use the faders to slide them on and slide them off. If you are going to use the faders, then you want to make sure that you're not fading in gradually as you're talking, otherwise it will sound like you're fading in, which sounds very strange. So what you want to do is fade all the way up and then begin speaking, and then when you're finished, stop and then fade down. So that's how you turn your microphones on and off. The two faders that we've got for microphones, the first one, microphone 1, is the one on the presenter's side, and the second one, microphone 2, is the one on the guest's side. So if there's just you in the studio on your own, then you only need to play with this first microphone. It's very important as well, if you've got guests, especially more than one of them, to make sure that you test the levels and make sure that they're right on the trim before you even start, because if not, then you get a horrible distorted noise, or the people at home might not be able to hear you. The final thing you'll notice on this desk here is the EQ section. I wouldn't worry too much about this. If this light is on, then it means the EQ is on. If you know about EQ, then feel free to play with it, but if you don't, then just leave it alone.